Consistency will pretty much always be an issue with young players, and that's something that comes with time. But if a player is struggling to elevate their play at all after a couple of years, then it may be time to admit that they just won't be the player that many expected them to be when they were drafted. That's exactly what we'll be discussing in today's video, as we will be identifying 4 former lottery picks from the last couple draft classes that it is finally time to give up on ever reaching their full potential, because they just have not shown enough on the court to justify that kind of belief. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first former top pick that it is officially time to give up on is James Wiseman of the Indiana Pacers. Wiseman's NBA career has been one of the most disappointing developmental stories of the last few years, as he entered the league in 2020 as the second overall pick that draft, ahead of a few all-star caliber guys, and has just not been able to prove that he can be trustworthy enough for consistent minutes in a rotation, let alone enough to be a quality starting center. Wiseman was a bit of a mystery when he was drafted because he only played a small handful of games in college before dropping out to prepare for the NBA draft on his own, and his physical tools were everything that NBA scouts drool over, so they still held him in high regard, thus why he was still selected second overall. Unfortunately, he's a telltale example of why physical tools and measurables aren't always enough to make a good basketball player, because Wiseman's basketball IQ has always been what has held him back. Defensively, he looks like he should be an elite rim protector with towering size and long arms to block shots with, but he struggles with positioning and timing on his rotations, and as a result, he's actually a pretty porous defender that gets beat on rotations rather often. Offensively, his athleticism has shined on several occasions, and he can definitely finish strong around the rim, but outside of that, he's not the best decision maker with the ball in his hands, and his shooting touch has never taken the leap forward that scouts hoped it would. After 2 years in Golden State and then 2 more years in Detroit, he now finds himself as an Indiana Pacer on a minimum prove-it contract, where he will likely be the third center in the rotation and may not even see the court all that much unless injuries occur. So right now, his best case scenario is just becoming a backup center at all, and even that is not guaranteed anymore. The next former lottery pick that it's officially time to give up on